I'm here with Joe, no middle name, founder of brainSHARE. Joe, tell us a little about yourself.
Well, thank you, Shawn. Joe Szynski, welcome back. Founder of brainSHARE Coach. For the last 11 years, we've been helping businesses create a profitable enterprise that works without you so you can exit the way you want to exit. And you, Shawn.
Hi, my name is Sean Flynn. I have an award-winning podcast called the Silicon Valley Podcast, where I've interviewed some big VIPs such as Jim McKelvey, co-founder of Square, Melody Perkins, and Joe over here. And I'm an investment banker.
And if you haven't subscribed, it's a must subscribe. Phenomenal information and a great host.
Oh, why thank you. But Joe, we got a very important topic to discuss today. What's the topic?
It's pivoting your business. Over the last couple of years, a lot of businesses have had to pivot or change the direction that they're going. And if you don't, I can't tell you how many businesses that I know personally that have crashed and burned because they didn't pivot in time. And I have to tell you, it makes me cry because I know that we could have helped them if they would have started a little bit earlier and not stuck their head in the sand. So pivoting is part of every business. Every business at some space and time through their business life cycle has to pivot or adjust the direction that they're going. You've seen it many times, I'm sure.
Oh gosh, well, not only I've seen it, think about it, everyone in the world has seen it. Some of the biggest companies out there, I mean, look at Slack. They were all developed off pivoting their initial idea. They changed to something else that is what we know of them today. Companies throughout time have pivoted, and some don't, and some kind of crash and burn. Others are able to, and like a phoenix, rise from the ashes.
Well, we could elaborate on some of the ones that didn't pivot. Blockbuster. Remember what was the name of that phone that we all had? The BlackBerry, right?
Oh, I knew the CEO of BlackBerry. This girl. Let's not go on that one.
Yeah, let's not go there. But if you don't pivot or you stick your head in the sand, you're probably not going to do as well as you could. So pivoting is a key success factor, and that's a strategy that the senior management team needs to look at as what are the opportunities as you're moving forward. What's the leverageability, the scalability, and the marketability of your company to adjust that strategic direction of where you need to go and how to get there in the most efficient, effective, and fastest manner possible.
And companies, I mean, you could be a startup and pivot 2-3 times in a week. You could be more mature company, pivot once or twice. I mean, it's there.
I've got a client right now that was running down the path in the cosmetic space. And the market share wasn't there, the revenue wasn't there, the competitive environment was just so much there that we had to pivot and look at a different marketplace. And we're actually looking at an area of health food right now. So pivoting is part of business, and you've got to be prepared to do that and evaluate where you're at today and what is the overall outlook for the business and be ready to pivot. If you don't, you could be in trouble.
Wow. And with that, Joe, what are we going to talk about next week?
Well, before we wrap up there, if you're not sure or you want to have an evaluation or look at your business, give us a call. We can do some market analysis of where you're at today, what's the opportunity for the future, and what are the different pivots that we could do. So give us a call and we can talk about that.
I know we said we'd talk about this more next week's episode, but I think we have to continue right now. What are some thoughts that you wanted to add to this episode?
Well, let's go into when you might want to pivot or when you might have to pivot. So let's look at the scenario with COVID-19. Many of the restaurants had to pivot from in restaurant dining to catering or to home delivery services. If they didn't pivot, they were going to go out. A lot of the wedding photographers, videographers, businesses either pivoted to a remote scenario or they didn't make it. Some of the clients that were doing events had to pivot to virtual events or they didn't make it. So when you look out and say, okay, what are there's environmental controls, There's economic controls, there's political issues. All of these outside influences do affect your business. So you need to be aware of the outside factors, but still focus in on your business. Being aware of them could create an opportunity or a need to pivot your business.
Joe, that was some amazing extra advice for our audience out there. And now, let's wrap this episode up and get ready for the next one.
Sounds great, Shawn. Thank you.